Good evening, folks. Welcome to Curveball Combos with your boys at Carolina Curveball on this great Mother's Day. I want to first shout out all the moms out there. We would not be on this planet without our moms. I know my mom's probably watching right now. Thanks for watching, Mom. Love you. Thanks for a great day. Had a lot of fun. Had a whole lot of good desserts today. It was a fantastic. How was y'all's Mother's Day? And are y'all's moms as happy as my mom today?
Yeah, I hope so. I took my mom out for dinner. Had a good little meal over at the Cary Pub. Shout out to that little outfit over there. But yeah, it was a good day, good weekend of baseball too. Obviously, had some rain, but wasn't too bad. I don't think we got a lot of stuff to talk about and go over, so it's always exciting.
Colby?
Yeah, had a good Mother's Day. Went to dinner at Bad Daddy's, all the
Oof.
burger bar. It was good. Got a whole fam there. My two older brothers and grandparents joined us as well, so it was good.
Sounds like a lot of fun. We had everyone come over to my house and we decided to grill out, but turns out it was raining. So me and my dad had to rig up a canopy on the back deck over the grill, which was pretty impressive. We should have got a picture. We slanted a canopy over the grill so we could grill up and do all that stuff. It was a whole lot of fun and whole lot of fun. If you're watching, if you haven't told your mom Happy Mother's Day or said I love you, do that right now. Turn off the show, go text your mom, tell her I love you for sure. But boys, we have a lot to talk about tonight as we are coming to a screeching halt on the season. I know me and Colby were talking today earlier. Like I feel like it was last week. It was Valentine's Day, doing our first show, getting ready for the season, and now we're here. One last week of the regular season coming up this week, and we'll get into it later. Colby has already made the slate on our spreadsheet. Very thankful for that. All the and and that's one thing that y'all watching don't know about Colby. Colby does most of the Excel sheet, same as Braxton, but Colby's been making the slates and he makes our life so much easier. Colby does so much for us here at Curveball and just makes it so much easier. So I want to say thank you, Colby, for that. But as I'm getting into that, Colby is kind of took us back in terms of making it too far, especially with the midweek because there's a lot of weather coming in the Carolinas this week, so we really don't know what's going to happen there. And those are big. It's big now this point of the season because with RPI points and just like State and Carolina today not playing a game, it hurt a whole bunch of things, not just State and Carolina. It kind of shook up some things in the ACC. Will shake up things next week because the ACC next week, Colby, is going to be on crack, so to speak, because so many things can happen, so many different scenarios.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching next week. Obviously, it's pretty tight race for first place and a top four in general, which is so coveted with the double bye. You have, I think, 6 or 7 teams that have a possibility of being in that top four. None of them's locked up yet. It's a bunch of huge games next weekend in the ACC. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, and Braxton, it's so important getting that top four for pitching because I mean, if you're not out of that, if you're out of that top four in terms of pitching, and especially with you don't know what the weather is going to go into this week in the schedule this weekend, it's very vital to be in that top four.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I would go as far as saying the teams that don't have even a single bye, I would give no chance of probably winning this tournament. I would say there'll definitely be a top four that wins the tournament. Maybe one of the teams that has one bye gets hot, like a Clemson or someone like that. But yeah, you definitely want to be in that top four just to save arms. And a lot of those teams will be regional teams regardless, but that doesn't mean that these teams don't want to win in Durham. I mean, that to bring a championship back to your program, especially in a conference like the ACC, that's very coveted, and they're going to take it just as serious as they would a regional or anything like that. So.
Yeah, and I also want to applaud the ACC for keeping the ACC baseball tournament in North Carolina because the basketball tournament seems to travel every other year. I won't be surprised if the ACC basketball tournament is in the crypto.com arena in Los Angeles soon or in Oakland. Wouldn't be surprised the ACC basketball tournament is there. So very thankful for that. And also the Big South is not too far from me in High Point. So me and Braxton will be hitting that up, seeing our Big South friends there, Braxton. That'll be a whole bunch of fun, won't it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that week for sure. I think we're going to be able to go back and forth to Durham and to High Point. So if you're out there, holler at us. say what's up.
Yes, sir. No question about it. And now, folks, we will get into our weekend results as our Braxton will pull it up. And as you see, excuse me, I hope you guys have been seeing on our social media our new slate graphic that I've created. I think it's a much cleaner look and just kind of is more eye popping for sure with the colors. I will say I am proud of myself for doing this, and we're looking forward to talking about this. As we begin with Charleston Southern takes the series over UNC Asheville. Asheville falls to 15-31 as Charleston Southern goes to 26-8. What is the Big South looking like in terms of standings right now as we go into the last week of the season?
Yeah, let me pull it up. I know High Point's first, right, Braxton, and Upstate's not too far behind in second.
One game back.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Radford in third at 13-8, 4 games back at first. Charleston Southern in fourth. Winthrop fifth. Asheville sixth. I'm pretty sure that it's a 16 tournament, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. So the 3 on the outside looking in is Presbyterian, Gardner-Webb, and Longwood. And Gardner-Webb and Longwood are pretty much officially eliminated. Presbyterian still has a chance to get that 6th spot. They're only a half game back behind Asheville.
Yeah, they actually played themselves out this past weekend, getting swept by Upstate, and then Asheville getting 1 game against Charleston Southern did kind of play them into the tournament as of now. So, and then Asheville plays Upstate, and I forget who Presbyterian plays Colby.
Let me pull it up. Wait, Presbyterian. I was looking at it. I think they're done.
Oh wow! So they don't even control their own.
Yeah, I was looking at their schedule. They have a Tuesday game at Central Florida, but they didn't have anything in their schedule for this weekend.
Wow. So maybe they're done with
because they've already played 24 conference games.
Yeah. So it's not going to be up to them then. They'll need Asheville. Well, basically they'll just need
Asheville to get swept.
I guess so, right?
Yeah, that's definitely in the cards.
It could happen, yeah.
Playing Upstate. So
you would think.
Very, very interesting race there, and it's kind of crazy as talking about Presbyterian because last year they were the 1, if I'm not mistaken, in the Big South, weren't they?
They won the regular
season a lot going into this year.
Yeah, and because they had that Egan kid and Drago, who were very, very good. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they've
really fallen off. I'm kind of surprised that I did think there would be some fall off, but they started okay, and I think they were right around the top 4. Most of the season. So I'm surprised that they did fall off a little bit. I think they've lost I don't know what it is, but it's a lot out of their last 10 games. They've probably lost 8 or 9 at least in their last 10 from what I've been seeing. So, but anyways.
Gardner-Webb has lost 12 in a row.
Yeah, I did see that too.
Lord have mercy, Bulldogs. Well, we'll move to the A10. Cole, if you can move to the A10 while I talk about the series. George Mason gets the series win over Davidson. Davidson falls under. Davidson was under 500, but falls under 23-26. George Mason had a pretty good season this year. And they started the year off with a big win at ECU to start the year. George Mason playing pretty well, but Colby, where does Davidson stack up in the A10 as we're closing out?
Yeah, Davidson is tied for 3rd. So Rhode Island is leading the way in 1st. George Mason is in 2nd, 1 game back. And there's 3 teams tied for 3rd. That includes Davidson, St. Louis, and St. Joseph's. So Davidson's still sitting pretty well in the A10.
Okay. We will now move to the SoCon. Colby, Western Carolina gets a massive series win over the Citadel. I mean, wow, this is a big one for Western. And trying to pull up these scores right here for Western.
They did lose today. I think Citadel came back on them with the sweep.
Yeah, but Western was up big today, and
Western lost today 9-7 to the Citadel. They won yesterday 15-4.
Yeah, they hit the ball well. Yeah,
in a very Western Carolina baseball game. And then did they play a doubleheader, or is there another game on Friday?
I think it was Friday.
Colby, can you see do you know the first score of the Western series?
Western won 11-4.
11-4. So, yeah. Nice wins for Western there, and tough break for the Citadel as they entered the power rankings this week. Unfortunate that they are going to get booted from the rankings this week. But then again, Western,
We haven't
good
talked
team.
about Western that much. They've been playing some good ball the last month.
I agree. I think that they're a sleeper to win that tournament, but
Yeah.
there's just too many. There's too many like possibilities. I don't know who I'm going to end up going with, but I do like them as a hot team right now in the SoCon to maybe surprise some people and sneak into a regional. That would be awesome.
Colby, do you have those standings pulled up?
I do. East Tennessee State is in first. Samford is in second, 1 game back. And then Mercer and the Citadel are tied for third, 3 games back.
Yeah.
Western Carolina and UNCG tied for fifth, 5 games back. And Wofford is 7 games back in seventh. VMI is last, 8 games back.
And it's kind of funny you say that because our next 3 series are in the SoCon as Samford sweeps UNCG, and then East Tennessee State defeats Wofford. I mean, this Wofford team, I mean, they did lose a lot. The portal really ripped them apart this past offseason, and it's really showed to how their record is this year. But I definitely think they would have been better. And also back on the other one, Samford has got some good wins, but also some bad ones. But UNCG, kind of like you said with Western, Colby, just if UNCG can kind of make it work at the right time in the SoCon tournament, I could see them making a run in the SoCon.
Maybe they've been really struggling. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. They're actually tied for first in the SoCon about a month ago, and now they're tied for fifth. It kind of seems to have fallen apart a little bit for the Spartans.
Yeah, no question about it. Baxton, do you have any comments on the SoCon tournament?
Yeah, I didn't realize that East Tennessee's record is that good. Is there any chance what's their RPI? Is there any chance that they get an at-large? Probably not, right?
I think that's. I wish we had Reed here. He's better.
Yeah, Reed will be here shortly. I think.
Let me pull up
for those that are for the Reed fan club.
East Tennessee State. East Tennessee State is 47th in RPI. They're 21-5 in quad 4 and 1-2 in quad 1. So I don't think that is enough.
Okay, I just was wondering because I was looking at their record there. I think they could definitely win that tournament, though. I think they're probably going to be the favorite to win that tournament. But I do think a team like Western could do it. I'm down on this Wofford team this year too, as well, Casey. I just think that they're just not as talented as they have been in past years. They've returned some of the talent, but it looks like they're just not as good on the mound from what I can see.
Yeah, because didn't the top guy go to LSU?
Yeah, they lost a guy to was it LSU? I know it was an SEC team.
Pretty sure it was, I think.
Yeah, so I just don't think that they're going to be in a regional this year. They were my pick to win the regular season at the start of the year, but
I think coming in they had 4 or 5 straight 40-win seasons, 3 or 4, something like that. They had some crazy.
They're not going to reach that mark this year, but I mean, still they're going to probably win 30+ games. So that's what they do over there. They win ball games, but just a bit of a down year. I mean, you never know. Could win the tournament, still have a great year. But
Cole, would you have anything else on the SoCon?
Yeah, I'm much higher on the 2 teams that played this weekend, Citadel and Western. I know Citadel didn't win the series this weekend. I think Citadel's a good club, and Western's been playing well. I'm much higher on those 2 teams heading into tournament time rather than UNCG and Wofford.
Okay. Where is that tournament played?
I think it's in Greenville, South Carolina.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
All right, boys, to the CAA, the Colonial or the Coastal, whichever you want to call it. Campbell defeats Elon 2-1. Nice series win for Campbell, but sorry, Campbell's too late for that to start winning series. But a disappointing season for Campbell. Me and Colby were talking about that earlier today. Just kind of worried about Campbell. I mean, ECU's had a down year. Campbell had a down year. And it's just me and Colby were talking. Just it is more worrisome for Campbell instead of EC in terms of ECU Campbell down discussion because Campbell losing their coach and then just having this kind of year in the CAA. I mean, they just kind of got to figure it out, Colby.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they are tied for third in the CAA. They're 13-11, but yeah, certainly not the year that they probably hoped for and maybe expected. Obviously, first year coach, there's going to be a lot of change, transfer portal. So I think might just need to give them a little more time, um, get some recruits, maybe use the transfer portal a bit. But this year, yeah, the CAA is kind of just Northeastern and everyone else at this point. I think Northeastern has won 20 games in a row. Um, so they're the heavy favorite entering that tournament. Um, Elon and Campbell both tied for third, though, having pretty respectable, solid years at 13-11. So it's a good series win for Campbell. I think it's kind of crazy looking at Campbell's record of 22-28. You'd think they'd probably be near last in the CAA, but they're actually tied for third. So
Yeah. Thank you, Colby. And we have our guest, not our guest, a regular member, has now arrived from the
Good
for the
evening,
Tobin.
gentlemen.
Reed Tobin, how was your weekend and how was Mother's Day, sir? Did you tell your mom you love her?
Absolutely. Good to see her today. Had to stop in Gary, see the family. Just got back to Charlotte. So yeah,
Where were you this weekend?
I was in Greenville. Yeah.
Did you go to
appearance down
any
there.
games
Made an appearance to Game 3 last night.
for an inning?
What?
For
No.
one inning?
No, I mean the Pirates though. I mean they played well enough to win the series down there this
they should have
weekend.
won the series.
Yeah, I mean, had they just not walked a bunch of batters in Game 2, they would have won that game. 4 straight walks, up 4-2 in the ninth, and then obviously the bases clearing double from UTSA. They were able. Nice win though for them on Game 3. Maybe that can build them some momentum as we head to next week.
Tobin, before we move on to Charlotte UAB, do you have any quick hitters on the games above from Campbell, Elon on to Charleston Southern in terms of like SoCon or Big South?
I saw good win for Wofford. I know they lost the series, but steal one down there against Eastern Tennessee, who's been the face of that league all season.
We were talking about if they had any at-large chances, but would you say probably not?
Eastern Tennessee, I'm going to say probably not. Their RPI's sitting in the 50s, 60s, I believe. So I think that'll be just a one-bid league.
All right. We will move now to the American. Colby, your alma mater, the 49ers, get a nice sweep over UAB to move to 31-20. Charlotte has had a pretty good year this year, Colby, as they are gearing up to go to Clearwater in a week. Who does Charlotte have this weekend, Colby?
I think they're
Tulane in Charlotte. So
is it in Charlotte or?
Yes, it's in Charlotte. Yes, sir. But Colby, I'll let you talk about this weekend first before we get into that one.
Yeah, I think this is a really good year for Charlotte after a rough first year last year in the American, to bounce back with a really solid year. They're in second by themselves in the American, obviously behind UTSA, who's quite a bit up. But I mean, to be in second place heading to the last weekend, pretty satisfied with that. And you got one weekend left, and I think they have a real shot to win the American, in my opinion. When you have Gillespie on the mound, at least one or maybe two of those games, I think they have a shot, and it's going to be exciting in Clearwater.
Yeah, I was listening to the Hoist the Colors show at 9 for Through the Game in Greenville by Stephen Igo, and he was kind of going through the matchups as of right now, but they're all going to change drastically. But he was kind of talking about the matchups, and he said that if you're one of these teams, you don't want to run into a Gillespie, Norby, or a Tyler Beard from FAU. You really don't want to run into one of those guys your first game because, I mean, that's just an absolute buzzsaw. So I definitely think that for Charlotte, it's about matchups going into Clearwater because, I mean, if they can knock out a big dog as in like UTSA or South Florida first, I mean, getting out of that losers bracket as one of the few tournaments that is double elimination, if you go into that losers bracket, it is so hard to get out of it. But having a guy like Gillespie throwing that game one to not guarantee you a first win, but I mean, you're feeling pretty good out there with a Gillespie, a Norby, a Beer down out there on the mound in double elimination. Isn't that right, Reed?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what has happened the past 2 years in Clearwater. Obviously, Wichita State made the run last year, winning it, and then who could forget 2 years ago when 14-win Tulane
Yeah.
shocked everyone and won that tournament. So, I mean, anything could happen. Obviously, UTSA is the heavy favorite going in there, but
The one hasn't won it in how long, Reed? It's been a couple
I think
years.
the last time the 1 seed won was the year ECU went to the Super Regional.
I was going
That
to
was
say
in 22.
it had to have been ECU, right?
Yeah,
It was ECU in 22. So so who won it the year after that in 23?
Tulane,
Tulane.
and then
Yeah,
Wichita last year.
So if you're a bet man, don't bet UTSA to win the American.
I think the more I think about it, I'm loving Charlotte too, Colby. I think that I just can see them getting over that hump and making a regional this year. I don't know what it is about them. I think that'll be my pick, though. I'm a big fan of UTSA though too. So
Yeah, Charlotte's bets have really come alive the last 3 weeks. They got Carson Bain back today. He was injured for a bit, made his presence known today with a home run. And then when you have arms like Gillespie and then the back end arms, Joe Taylor and the bullpen, and then they have another bullpen arm. I'm forgetting the name, but I think Chase Carson is the name. He's been really good. I think they're suited well to make a deep run.
Yeah, and if they do win it, Gillespie's not an arm you want to see in a regional. If you are a 2 seed playing that first game, that's a guy that teams will not want to see at all.
What seed currently is Charlotte in the AAC? What would they be if the season ended today? 2?
Yeah.
2. As we move on to Clemson and Duke, boys, Clemson is just having a rough spell here. Colby, I'll let you lead off with this one, then we'll pass it around. But Duke with a nice series win over Clemson. And what's going on down there in Clemson, Colby?
I don't know, but it's not good. 2 wins ever since they came to Raleigh. It's been bad, getting swept at State, then losing 2 out of 3 at Florida State. Then, maybe some people probably thought this is a get-right series for them being back at home after being on the road 2 weeks. But no, Duke took it to them today to win the series. It's not looking good. On the Duke side, very good. As we had a long discussion about Duke today in our chat, but they are playing really good ball. And the AC standings with them, they're right in the mix. I'm pretty sure they're right now they'd be a 4. Let me pull this up. I think they'd
right
be
on the 4.
Yeah. They're 5th technically. They're a half game behind Carolina for 4th and 1 game back against State and Georgia Tech, who are tied for 2nd, and 1.5 back to Florida State, who's in 1st. So they've been playing hot, and they're right in the mix to finish with the top 4, even somehow with some schedule luck and score luck, though maybe they could even win the ACC regular season.
Braxton or Reed?
Yeah. I don't think they'll win the regular season. I think there's just too much out of their control. But I do think they'll be a top 4. Because who do they play next week?
Georgia Tech. It's a big series.
Yeah. No, I did watch this game today, Duke and Clemson, and I was really impressed with this Duke team. And what I was most impressed with is that the way they've been hitting the ball, and their best hitter is struggling right now, Ben Miller. I think he had 1 hit in the Clemson series this week, and Gracia's really stepped up. Jake Hyde today was on one. He hit a couple of bombs.
He's on fire for them.
Yeah, so they've got some other guys. They've got some other guys carrying the weight, and we know that Ben Miller will show up in a regional setting. I think safe to say that in a big game he'll be just fine. He's got 6 years under his belt. So I mean, I think this Duke team is going to be a very scary 2 or 3 seed in someone's regional, and like we've said, Colby, they've been really hot. So, and in terms of Clemson, I think they just got ruined after coming to Raleigh. I don't know what – I mean, what'd you say today, Reed? Like no one in their lineup's batting over 300 now?
That was after Tuesday night. I'm not too sure about the stats for them after this weekend. But yeah, after Tuesday night, no one on the team was batting above 300.
I mean, I think they're still going to host, but certainly won't probably be a top 8 unless they win in Durham. So we'll see, but I don't see them doing that if they're not a double bye.
Yeah, and we'll go to one of these questions. We see your questions in the chat, everybody. Just we're going to get to them as the show goes. And Reed, Matt has a question for you, Tobin. Who do you think is the most susceptible to get upset as a host out of the Carolina teams? Colby, I read that one right. Reed, I'll let you answer that.
I'll stick with it right now. We're talking about them right now. Clemson. Obviously, we know their history in the NCAA tournament. You know, they've been prone to get bounced at their place before. Obviously, they haven't made it to Omaha since 2009, I believe, was the last time. Just the way they're playing, too. You know, Kanak's been getting roughed up in his past couple outings. The way their offense has been struggling. You know, I mean, who do they have this upcoming weekend, Clemson?
I believe they're at Pittsburgh.
At Pitt? I mean, Pitt's been playing better, so I mean, if Clemson loses one more series, I mean, they might end up traveling for a regional. But yeah, right now, Matt, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be Clemson.
Yeah, and to keep it in South Carolina, but move to the Sun Belt. Coastal Carolina, nice sweep over UL Monroe. Reed, in a crazy game on Thursday, they come back down what, Reed, on Thursday?
5, I think it was 6-0 they were down. Yeah, 6-0. And then rallied, scored 7 runs in the 7th inning or 8th inning to come back and steal that game. And then obviously their pitching staff dominant the other 2 games. What a week for them. They're itching closer to that number 1 team. They are fully in the mix for a chance to be a top 8 seed.
That is correct. Braxton, go to the next one.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Thank you very much.
I was laughing at Matt's comment.
Oh, wait, no. We see Matt will.
Oh, Matt, they got to win the A10 first to get there.
Okay.
Discussion.
Okay. The CAA, College of Charleston, nice sweep over A&T. A&T falls to 15-34. Tough season down there. But Colby, what is College of Charleston in the CAA? Are they?
They're in the tied for third with Campbell and Elon at 13-11.
Okay.
They're getting hot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying they're getting hot at the right time. This is a team
the best they've played absolutely all season.
Yeah.
And they have talent.
3 weeks.
So
6 wins in a row, 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah, they're playing very, very well. So they're a team to watch out in the CAA. Our next game, the one that Tobin touched on, and we'll touch on the few comments here. As our good friend Davis Whitley says, does ECU have a realistic shot to win the AAC tournament? I will say yes. I think it is a realistic shot because crazy things happened in Clearwater. A 14-win Tulane team won 2 years ago. Last year, ECU did not win. Who won it last year? We just said it. I'm sorry. Wichita State won it last year. One hasn't won in a good while. It's going to be interesting down there. This weekend, I did watch every inning of this series. Game 1, frustrating. They just don't have it. There's just all there's to it. And then yesterday, Game 1, they had it, and then they just decided to have a walk fest read, and they just can't get it out. I just don't understand the decision to go with Colby Wallace there, and that decision. I mean, he has not been nails all year. He has not been great in that situation, and Cliff puts him out there. I mean, I guess he thinks he's Zach Agnos out there and moved him from third to the mound, but it's just not there. And then they did walk it off the last game. Davin Whitaker did walk it off the last game. But, I mean, take your victories how they are, but we'll see what happens.
It was good to see Riley Johnson, though, have a big weekend at the plate.
Until he, I think, broke his leg or something, and UTSA players had to carry him off the field. But huge, he hurt his leg pretty bad. Had to be carried off the field.
Oh,
he was,
and
I mean, Reed, to your point with Riley Johnson, just to see him have a 2-homer weekend and he hits a grand slam, and it really just says like, man, like if just he's in that lineup, just as a present standpoint, is this season a little bit different?
Yeah, certainly you would think so. Just his present. I mean, his defense. I mean, you saw that catch he made in game 1 too. His defense speaks for himself. And then the Pirates have just lacked offense all season, and he's been such a great hitter with the Pirates his whole career. So I mean, it's just been disappointing to see him injured for most of this season.
Yeah, and it's even more kind of heartbreaking that he just doesn't want to come back next year. He wanted to play the couple games this year because he's just so done with baseball and just the injuries. So it's very unfortunate to see him go out this way. But he was a hell of a player during his time in Greenville. As Patrick Allred, my old roommate, shout out Patrick, ACC tournament is wide open. Anyone's for the taking. Yeah, that'll be a very nice tournament to watch as well. Before we get to the ACC and the drama that happened today in the ACC, we'll keep it in the Big South. High Point sweeps Gardner Webb. Colby, is this 12 straight for Gardner Webb losses?
Yeah, 12 in a row.
Yeah, and High Point continues to roll. They're number 1 in the Big South. They're a wagon. Watch out for the Panthers looking to become back-to-back conference tournament champions, as I think they are the favorite going in there. And now, boys,
for amount of wins too. Did see that they won up last year's team with their 36 win today.
Yeah, the house that Adam Stewart built is doing very, very well down in High Point. Thought there'd be a little drop off since the great Adam Stewart left, but they have picked up right where he left off. Shout out Adam Stewart. And boys, I will give you 3 the floor for this one. State, Carolina, they split the series. Carolina wins on Thursday, State wins on Friday, and then take off a day, and then for graduation. Then today, I'll let whoever wants to talk first begin on cancellation and what this means going forward.
They just messed up today. I think they should have played probably yesterday. I mean, I know there was graduation, but I mean, we knew today would be rough to get it in, and it is what it is. They didn't play it, but I was at the Thursday game at Boshemer, so I was just real impressed with. I mean, Jake Knapp. He's been impressive all season, but I mean, State was nowhere near touching him other than that one swing in the first. I think it was Hogue. They really could not handle his velo. He was just peppering it in there all night long, and Carolina did what they needed to do at the plate. I wasn't able to watch the Friday game, so you guys can tell me a little. I know Kepley had a big hit to like tie it up. Is that right, Reed?
Yeah. And
then they lost in the end, but to credit the State to come on the road and get a win in Boshemer. It's not an easy place to go and win. But we wish we could have finished the series today. But yeah, I just think that it's just one of those things. The ACC's kind of had a rough go of it these last couple of weeks with the scheduling. That's one thing when you schedule a Thursday series. I mean, you have a whole extra day. You would think they'd get it in. So, but you got to work around things like graduation and stuff. That's just logistics. I wish we could just make it up, but hopefully these two teams run into each other in Durham or something that we could see a good ball game there.
Yeah. Colby, I'll let you get your comments in.
Yeah, disappointing not to get game 3. From an outside perspective, looking at it, kind of seemed like there wasn't that much sense of urgency from both sides to get it in. I'd say it seemed like they were okay with this game being canceled, just from an outsider's perspective. With how tight they see standings are, I think both teams were good to call this series off after 2 games and move on the next week with still both having great chances at top 4 and great chances at a regular season title. So kind of disappointed in the lack of urgency, obviously, from the State side today. Being on that hosting bubble, they really could have used a win today to really solidify themselves, I think. So I'm disappointed in that. But yeah, I just think they just took 2 games and didn't really sense urgency today from both sides to get this game in.
Tobin?
Ridiculous that the game was not played. I mean, my God, we're 2 weeks left in the regular season. ACC race is very tight, and we can't get games in. Just looking at some of the scenario, obviously, like you look what happened last week to State and Miami. losing. Game was called. No makeup. Obviously, Florida State series against Virginia is not going to be made up. But with these schools just 20 miles apart from each other, I mean, they should have played the game yesterday. Hell, ECU graduated Friday morning and then played at night. So I don't understand why the game couldn't have been last night. Or, I mean, they could have worked a doubleheader in on Friday, knowing the weather was going to be bad here today. But, like they both said, very disappointing. And then they couldn't finish the series.
Wow, Tobin's fired up over this one. Haven't seen that fired up all season. Wow, Tobin. Tell us how you really feel, buddy.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
On the field, though, shout out Knapp, like Braxton said. Fritton pitched a sensational game for State on Friday. Really gave the Heels trouble until they were able to get a homer off them right there at the end of the seventh. Kepley was sensational all series. Just getting on base, big timely hits, just hustling. His hustle play just speaks for itself.
Yeah, boys. Any other comments before we move on to your alma mater, Braxton?
I'm good.
Take that as court is adjourned. All right. Upstate sweeps Presbyterian. And Colby, me and you and Braxton were talking. This ends Presbyterian season. Does it not, except a midweek versus Central Florida?
Yeah, most likely. They're half game out of the last spot, of the sixth spot. They're in seventh, the half game out, and they've played all of their 24 Big South games, and they're half game behind, I think it was UNC Asheville. So they could still make it if Asheville loses 2 out of 3, or maybe they get swept by Upstate.
Yeah, so that's definitely in the cards.
So Presbyterian is hoping Upstate does exactly what they did to them this weekend to Asheville next weekend. That's basically their hope.
So Asheville just has to win one game and they're in, probably.
See, they're half.
I don't know how the halves work.
I'll have to ask someone, but I can get that figured out. But I will say Upstate has struggled with Asheville a little bit, at least in recent years, from what I remember. They just kind of have our number a little bit. So I don't think a sweep would necessarily be like a lock in any sense, but impressive weekend nonetheless from Upstate this weekend. I mean, if you look at the scores, they were all very handily. They beat them pretty handily. This Upstate team has been playing a lot better at home than they did early in the year. I mean, we look back, they got swept by Radford, who's had some impressive wins. I mean, they just swept Winthrop this weekend, which we'll talk about. But I think Upstate's kind of got the recipe figured out at this point in the Big South. And like you said, they're just a half game back of High Point for the one spot. So we'll see if they can maybe edge that. Because if they do, they have the head-to-head over High Point. So, but those two will definitely probably see each other in High Point in the tournament. I'm sure we'll see that matchup at some point. So that'll be really, really interesting to get your popcorn ready, Casey.
So a little more clarification on this sixth spot. Asheville is a half game up at 8-13.
Mm-hmm.
In the Big South. Presbyterian is 9-15. So if UNC Asheville wins 1 out of 3, they'd have the same exact record at 9-15. And I'm trying to find what they did head to head.
What's the head to head?
Yeah, let's see. Presbyterian actually won that series against Asheville, 2 out of 3. So it looks like as long as Asheville doesn't take the series,
so they have to win.
Should get this last spot.
Okay. None of the other teams matter though for that, or
don't believe so. It's Winthrop is the 5th place team, but they're 3 games ahead of both the teams, so don't really think they're factoring in. And then behind them is Gardner Webb and Longwood, who are also about 3 games behind them. So as long as if Asheville takes 1 out of 3, I still believe Presbyterian gets in. If Asheville wins the series, they'll get in.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That'll be
something to monitor for sure. All right, boys. Let's move on to the CAA. And Wilmington Reed has been playing pretty well as of late, back-to-back 3-1 weeks. Reed, nice sweep over Stony Brook as they get prepared for the CAA. And Reed, after you're done, Colby, can you give us one more update on the CAA?
Yeah, like we said it last show. Wilmington definitely hitting their stride a little bit. Got roughed up by State on Tuesday night, but taking care of business like they needed to here in the CAA. And obviously, like Colby said, we all Northeastern is the heavy favorite going into that. But the way that tournament goes, I mean, anything's possible down there. I think the tournament's in Charleston this year. So Wilmington's pitching has been sensational all year. Up there was one of the best staffs in the Carolina, you could say. So the way they've been playing would not surprise me at all if they won that tournament in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Northeastern is 22-2 in the CAA. They've won 20 games in a row. And Wilmington is a clear number 2 at 16-8, 6 games back. They're pretty locked in. They'll be the 2 seed in that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But UNCW is playing some great ball, and I know they're not Carolina. So is Northeastern. I mean, 21s in a row is crazy.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting one. I mean, Wilmington threat to be a bid stealer for sure.
Hey, you still have them winning a regional this year, so
I do actually. So let's make sure that prediction stands strong.
I think Northeastern is probably solidified them being in the tournament, even if they don't win the CAA tournament in 2 weeks.
That is correct. And to move back to the ACC, Wake Forest gets a much-needed series win versus Pitt, 2-1. Reed, as Wake Forest needed this going into the last week of the season.
Yeah, wasn't easy for them. They're just so hard to figure out, but good series win for them. They've just been sitting right there, middle of the pack in the ACC. We'll see. Who do they have this upcoming weekend?
I think at Louisville.
Yeah, that'll probably be a pick 'em.
And Wake
Wake's
Forest
capable. I mean, it just depends what Wake team you're going to get.
Yeah. Wake Forest and Louisville are tied for 9th, so that's going to be a big series. Probably the winner of that series will get one of those last single bye in the top 8. So those teams really aren't a threat to be in the top 4, I'd say, unless one of them swept the other. But it's interesting. The ACC is so tight. I know Patrick mentioned the ACC tournament's wide open. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm also looking forward to this weekend and just score watching. I mean, the regular season matters too, the title and these races. So it's going to be a good couple of weeks for the ACC.
No question about it. And to move on to the Big South, Radford with the sweep over Winthrop. Kind of a shocking sweep here, Braxton, as Winthrop cannot get it done versus Radford going into the last week of the season.
Yeah, Winthrop's had a tough go of things. I think they're actually 27-25 now. That might be wrong, but
27-25.
Is it? Yeah, because I know that they've lost like quite a few games in a row now. I think it's 6, maybe 7, maybe 5 out of their last 6 or something. But they've had a rough go of it. They're kind of playing themselves out of a favorable matchup in the tournament. I think they would play. Well, I'm not sure who they would play right now, but regardless, they'll probably still be in it, so they'll still have a chance to make a run. But like I said, this Radford team, they've kind of played themselves into that tournament, and they're going to be dangerous over there in High Point. I think you kind of don't know what you're getting with them. We've seen it all season. I know they're not one of our teams in the Carolinas, but they obviously play a lot of our teams, being in the Big South, and they've had some really, really good wins. I mean, when you look at it, they've swept Upstate. They beat did they beat an ACC team? Was it Virginia Tech?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there. So, but yeah, I've been real impressed by the Highlanders, and I think they could be dangerous in a week or two.
No question about it. And we will now move on to Queens. Reed, what's going on down there, man?
I thought, thought maybe there was the chance they could follow up the series win last week against Jacksonville, but no.
Reed, they play Radford at home on Tuesday, barring weather. And then they play Georgia State for the 18th. No,
West Georgia.
West Georgia for the 18th time this season. Reed, do they get to double-digit wins?
No. Actually, yeah. I'm going 10 wins.
Yeah, you know what? Yes, they'll win the series against West Georgia.
They also have a midweek game.
Yes, versus Radford, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say they'll finish 10-44.
Colby, do they get the 10 wins?
No.
Braxton?
I'll say yes, but I'm not confident in it.
Well, you know what other fan base isn't confident in their program? The South Carolina Gamecocks. I mean, just that score on Thursday, I was watching it. Oh my Lord! Auburn defeats South Carolina 24-2 on Thursday, and then 11-3, and then hold on, they played 11-10. They almost won game 2, but then the last one was just an absolute massacre. Reed, the Gamecocks. I mean, going forward, I mean, do they fire Maneri? I mean, what's going on? Maneri said he's here to stay, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see any way he comes back. I mean, this is an all-time low, I think. They've given up 78 runs in their last 5 games. I mean, it looks like they just quit out there on Thursday night. I mean, that was tough to watch. Obviously, the next 2 games were pretty close, but I would love to see them play Missouri. And hell, Missouri just swept A&M this weekend, so South Carolina might be the worst team in the SEC.
And I don't think they can fire Maneri because of the money.
No, I mean,
they got money. They got money.
I mean, they have it, but that buyout will be expensive.
Colby, your comments on the Cox?
Yeah, just pathetic. I was really high on them coming to the year, but yeah, not great. And when coaches are always talking about close to being fired, the buyout comes out. Most of these schools have the money. They'll make it work if they really want to fire them. Yeah, I mean, Reed, do you know who they finish up with next weekend? LSU.
LSU.
Okay, so LSU. Yeah, that's another. They'll get swept by them.
Or does Maneri get the boys hyped up for LSU?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
No, they'll get killed.
Where is it in Baton Rouge?
I think it's in South Carolina.
It's at in Greenville.
Oh, dude, if Maneri
Columbia.
I would have honestly. This sounds crazy. This sounds crazy bizarre, but I might have felt more comfortable if it was at LSU going in, getting the boys fired up. Come on, you got to win for me down there in Baton Rouge. But now but honestly, looking back on it, looking now, like I think the boys coming in, seeing LSU come in this week, Maneri's just rolling the ball out there and say, "Hey, go pitch, Reed."
It sure seems like it at this point. I mean, 78 runs in 5 games. I mean, that's ridiculous.
All right, and to wrap the weekend series up, USA America defeats App State 2-1 in the series. South Alabama. It was funny when I saw this in the sheet. Saw USA. I was like, oh, USA baseball team beat App State this weekend. But App State going to the Sun Belt. Colby, what are they in the Sun Belt? Do you know off the top of your head, or can you look at that?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Because I'm very curious to see what these Sun Belt standings are. Because, I mean, you would think Southern Miss up there, Coastal up there.
Troy and Southern Miss play this upcoming weekend.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Coastal's in first. Southern Miss is 2 games back in second. Troy's 5 games back in third. Let's see, App State is tied for 9th. And South Alabama is 11th. So pretty bad series loss for App State. But Juan Correa, though, 8 RBIs today. He's getting hot. And like that commenter said,
Yeah.
don't let App State get hot, right, Casey?
Hey, watch out for them.
Watch out.
Watch out. Watch out for them.
I just don't think anyone's beaten Coastal, man. I mean, they almost lost Thursday night, and then they just so resilient that they still come back and win that game against ULM. Like, this is the hottest team probably in the Carolinas right now. Probably borderline could be our one right now.
I am so curious who the 2 seed's going to be because that's going to dictate, I think.
Well, it's definitely going to be either an ACC or an SEC.
Yes, has to be.
So I don't know, man. But like I told you earlier, or y'all, if ECU does pull off that tournament win, I could see them being in Conway. Just a thought, but I don't think they're going to do it. So, but you'd have to make your way down there, wouldn't you, guys? Yes.
I think one of us is going to have to make the trip down there to go see them during the regional.
I agree to that for sure.
Oh.
As my Wi-Fi is coming in and out, is
You
y'all
sound good.
straight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Good. Because I'm still scratchy, so if you can hear me, good. But it's lagging a little bit for me. So, I think I'm stuck again.
We hear you.
You sound great.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going. Boys, Reed, Colby, I'll let you guys kind of lead off this to wrap off the show. Field of 64, give us some other major movement that happened around the country that's going to affect the Field of 64 coming out on Tuesday now. Correct, Reed?
Yeah, we're going to get it out Tuesday night. Probably going to sit down right after this and start working on it.
I think but start off.
Yeah, but
A&M.
Yeah, A&M will not be in the tournament. I mean, absolutely disgraceful their season. I mean, to get swept by Missouri, who was 0-24 in SEC play this weekend. I mean, I was just having a field day just reading the A&M Twitter comments about the team. I imagine that coach will not be back from what I've seen. But other news, though, like with teams that were right there on the hosting bubble, Arizona loses a series to Utah. So they'll probably will be hitting the road. We had them, I think, up to 13 in the 13 overall seed. West Virginia loses another series this weekend. They were already kind of right there on the bubble. Tennessee loses another series again. They're getting obviously Clemson lost again. Tennessee and Clemson they keep it up. They're going to play themselves out of a host. Then obviously, like what Colby said, State not playing today, State and Carolina not playing today, kind of hurt State's hosting chances. I think State's going to have to make some noise in the ACC tournament. When you agree, if they want to host, Colby?
I think State's a really tricky hosting case right now. I think their RPI is up to 25, 9-9 in quad one. They have series wins against Clemson, Virginia, Louisville. I think they have really good series wins. The RPI number is what's throwing me off a little bit. They could have used this game today. Obviously, if they won, I would have felt a lot better. But going forward, if State kind of somewhat controls their own destiny, not totally, because if Florida State does sweep UNC, that Florida State would win the ACC regular season. But if State sweeps Stanford and UNC takes at least one from Florida State, they'll be the regular season champion. I find it hard to believe that if State did end up with the regular season title, that they would not be a host. That's just my thinking. I don't know how you feel about that, Reed.
No, I mean, I would agree with that statement. I mean, yeah, I don't think the ACC regular season champ has ever not hosted. I mean, I'm trying to think back at a time that's happened, and probably never.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I think they're right on the bubble even now. I mean, their RPI jumped up a ton this week. They're in like the late 30s high 30s coming into this week, and now they're
Yeah.
mid 20s. So I think they're right there now, but it's tricky with them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we might have them back into the hosting picture. We'll have some good discussions tonight, tomorrow. And then obviously, other news: Texas loses another series to a red-hot Florida team. Florida's surging, like they always are. It seems like at this time of the year. What else? Let's see.
Another bubble team, Kentucky. They
big series win. Yep.
Forgot who it was against already. Who was it?
Oklahoma.
That's right, Oklahoma. Kentucky was in our last 4 in, I believe, Reed. I think they're pretty safely off that, probably going into our next field.
I mean, that should be good enough for them now.
Yeah.
Oregon State with a nice series win at Iowa this week. And I saw that game 3 today ended in a tie.
Yeah.
Curfew.
Yeah, actually.
6-6.
And the funny thing about the tie in the RPI, it counts as half a win and half a loss for RPI standpoint.
Ridiculous. And then all Coastal fans, like I've been saying it, there is a legitimate case for them to be a top 8. So I'll look forward to discussing that with the boys here after this. I mean, they take care of business this weekend. My opinion right now, I think they're the number 8 overall seed. Obviously, we'll see what the rest of the other guys say, but just fascinating to see them again this weekend.
Yeah. Do we want to pull up the pick 'em? Might not be Cason's favorite thing to do tonight.
Let's go with me. Hey, you know what? In this business that I've been in with Hoisted Colors and now this, I mean, if you want to enjoy the highs and the awards, you got to be able to take it on the chin. You got to be able to take it on the chops too. So Braxton, go ahead and pull it up as we go through the pick 'em. I mean, I think that I'm more disappointed in myself losing to Tech than not getting a single pick. I think that's what I'm more upset about, losing to the technician. Reed, do you know what the Tech did this weekend? Maybe.
Somehow made better picks than you for the first time all season.
Wow. Okay, well, nice comment there.
He's had a couple of decent weeks actually in a row. Well, I guess he went 2-2 this week because we had the one that got voided, but Kaysen with the 0-4 to fall to 500. I mean, look, you got some shade just for the picks right off the bat on Twitter.
I didn't get shade. Carson got shade, not me.
Oh yeah, the classic Carson mix-up there.
Yeah, hey, hold on, pause. I just want to make an announcement. Here. If you're going to DM us or DM me, CASON. If you're going to text me,
Yeah, it's going to be that hard.
CASON. If you're going to DM me, it's Casey. I just want to get that out of the way for those ears that are listening. If you want a reply, spell it right. Thank you. Braxton, back to our pick.
Yeah, so myself, Colby, Matt, and Reed going 3-1, all missing out on Clemson. Or no, Colby, you missed out. You got Duke. You missed out on ECU.
Yeah.
And Tech with the 2-2. I mean, yeah, it's looking like it's going to come down. We'll have one more week of this for the regular season. Matt with a 3-game lead on myself, a 1-game lead over Tobin. And then Colby and Kaysen and James and Tech bringing up the rear. That's his government name there, James. Mainly known as Tech, obviously in the pick'em graphic, but James on the sheet. But anyways, it's gonna come. We're probably gonna have to make something happen, Reed, to catch money. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick different from him this weekend.
We should make a rule. We should make a rule that we all have to send them in like at the same time or something, so that we can't like just change.
I have a feeling he'll probably take Florida State, so that will be the one where I'll take.
Or how about this? We do the pick 'em live during our PGA draft.
Or we could do it on the. We could. Well, I don't know.
Yes, I think that's the best way to do it because we can do our pop quiz there too.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll be fine.
feel like I'm in school again.
Boys,
Viewers have no idea what we're even talking about, but
Yeah.
I also want to say, how do we want to do the conference tournaments? Do we want to pick games or pick the conference, or how do you boys want to attack that? I'm
Pick the
over
conference.
yeah, I think we should pick the tournament winners, and then also we can do a little like fun thing with some of the games if you all want to, or maybe on Twitter too. We can do something to get everyone involved.
Yeah, because how spread out are the championship games? Like, will they all like in a 2-day span, right?
Most
Yeah,
are going to be
most of them
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
What if we do like a championship pick 'em
Yeah.
the day of? Colby,
Yeah, maybe try to see what the fans would like, or our followers like. What would they like to see for conference tournament week and stuff? Maybe see what they want, like content wise.
Yeah, and I know as we get into the regionals too, we're going to have betting because that's what we did last year. For the regionals, I know when I made the graphics, I put each odds on to win the regional in the graphic. I think that'll be huge too. Then we'll bring back money locks too. He's 0 for 1. His regional pick last year was Southern Miss, and they did not win, but it's fine. We'll definitely bring them back. Read any other comments tonight?
No. Not much else in my mind. Just obviously the disappointment of the State UNC game not taking place today. Was really looking forward to that game, but can't believe this is the last week of the regular season coming up.
Sad.
Yeah, it feels like the season's flown by, but this is the best part of the season. Conference tournament race, and then obviously the regionals.
Here you go. Here you go. Patrick Ard. I like initial outright winners and then championship day winners. Thank you, Patrick. We will do that. Thank you, sir. Reed, I also have a question for you, sir. How was the atmosphere down there in Clarkwood Clare? I was very curious of the crowd and
underwhelming.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
I thought so. Bradford, did you go Thursday?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was a good crowd. I got there a little late, but I did see most of the game. It was like a 2-hour, 15-minute game.
It was a quick game.
Game.
I mean, done at like 8:15.
Jake Knapp work. He works very quick. As soon as the last out is made on offense, he's already on the mound. Like, it's literally insane.
Oh, another reason it was so quick is because State got retired like 18 batters in a row or something crazy. 15.
Very good. Yeah.
18. He was just mowing this down quickly.
Word on the street is Colby wants Jake Knapp to be a Dodger.
That was
this was maybe my second or third time watching this year. Obviously, the first time really watching them as State was playing, and I was like, "He's looking nice in Dodger blue." Yeah,
I think
I'm
he's
looking forward.
And
I can't wait for that matchup this weekend against Arnold down at Florida State. I mean that's going to be awesome to watch.
The Heels are 13-0 when he pitches, and I think he's 10 just as a starting pitcher. So it's incredible what he's doing this year.
Yeah, I mean he's probably going to win ACC Pitcher of the Year.
Yeah,
that's right, boys. All right, Reed, what's your favorite dessert?
Next question.
A little PGA championship talk.
Yeah, down for it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's starting Thursday. Quail Hollow in Charlotte. I'm pretty excited. Got my PGA championship hat from 2021 at Keel Island. Yeah, Phil Mickelson's probably last major. I'm excited for. It's gonna be a great week. You got PGA championship and then these conference races. It's just jam-packed. Great week.
Read initial predictions or thoughts on the.
Well, I've said all year going in that Rory would win the PGA. I'm going to stick with it. Good showing this weekend from him. Yeah, I'm going to stand by. I think getting the Masters win is going to loosen him up, and he's just going to rip off, I think, a couple of majors here over the next couple of years.
Reed, is it crazy to say he is the only one with the chance to win the season Grand Slam, obviously, but this is pretty good chance. I mean, he's got the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow where he's played really well at, and the Open Championship, his home course where he has the course record. I mean, Obviously, U.S. Open is Oakmont, but
I mean, you look at his history in the U.S. Open. He's had 6 consecutive top 10s at the U.S. Open.
Is that the major that he's won twice, or is it?
He's won once the U.S. Open.
What's the one he's won twice? PGA.
PGA.
So yeah, I think it's probably as good of a chance as we had in a while, I'd say, for a season Grand Slam.
Yeah, guess who has the first pick in the PJ Pick'em draft?
You're not taking Rory though. You're gonna take Bryson.
Oh, you never know. You never know. Bryson fell in the second round last at the Masters.
Yeah, the weather's going to be bad here in Charlotte Monday through Wednesday. So I don't know. The practice rounds are probably going to be all rained out. I don't know. It's probably make the course pretty easy for the
Will
week.
Tobin be making an appearance at Quail Hollow?
Oh, I sure hope so. I'm trying. If not, then I might be forking up $400 for a ticket.
Also, an announcement, but we'll talk about it before. Also, show schedule. How do y'all want to do show this week? Since
what are the Thursday games, Colby?
Everybody plays on Thursday.
Everybody plays Thursday.
I mean, I kind of wasn't. I liked the Wednesday show. If y'all want to run that back, I'm fine with it.
Don't matter to me.
Since everyone's playing Thursday, we're probably going to want to watch ball, so we might as well just run on Wednesday. And then that way we can talk about our field of 64 that will probably come out that day.
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday, okay, that works too. So we'll plan for a Wednesday show then, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And if anyone's going up to Danville, Virginia, Friday night, look for your boys.
Oh yeah.
Braxton, you coming?
Danville, Virginia?
Yep.
Don't believe so, man.
Gonna miss out.
You gonna miss out?
That's all right.
Have fun at the table. Watch some ball on the big TV.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Have some nice lemonade drinks, right, Reed?
Oh yeah.
Reed. What was that drink you got? You got?
I don't even. They were just like, I don't know. I think we're just lemon drops, but they were like making them as like mixed drinks. So
yeah, and I think Reed had 18 that night. The other part of that trip was Patrick Allred. Pat, Friday, meet us up there, man.
Yeah,
we'll meet us up there because Colby's birthday is this week. So, also happy early birthday, Colby.
Thank you
for the people.
Gonna be a fun one on Friday, Danville.
Oh yes, it will. Will Toby be in attendance?
I hope so.
I told him if I'm not going to Quail, I'll be there.
Braxton will see you there too, pal.
Yep, Braxton, Matt. See you over there.
I know if we texted James Colby, if me and you go to the casino at 10 o'clock, if we texted James at 8, which is 2 hours before, he'd be there.
Let's bring him too.
If James hears the word casino, his ears perk up. Just like me when I hear strawberry.
Thursday payday. See you there. We'll see you on Friday.
Reed, should Pat be allowed back?
Yeah.
Patrick was trying to do a handstand in front of the security guards walking out. He's like, fuck yeah, that's the casino. We were, funny story as we wrap up the show, we're trying to take a picture, the 5 of us, and Patrick looks at the security guy with the gun, multiple. Can I do a handstand for the picture? And the security guy's just looking at him, and I'm like, oh my god, we cannot get out of there faster. It was absurd. So Cole, we're trying to do a handstand on Friday. All right.
Yeah, the last guy you heard us do a handstand.
All right, boys. Wrap up the night. Anyone got a Pacers Cavs update?
The Pacers were up 80-39 at halftime.
My God.
What?
Yeah.
Braxton, you want to get a hockey update in, sir?
Yeah, I'll actually be in the building tomorrow in Lenovo. for Game 4, Canes Caps.
Yep.
So
Go Caps.
what?
Go Caps.
I mean, this is ridiculous, man. It's the only team we've got here in Raleigh, and we've got guys cheering against the Canes. I just don't get it. I will be there for all the Caniacs in here. Go Canes.
I'm sorry, it's just a program I just can't get behind. I just can't get behind it. If the MLB comes to Raleigh, all for it. But the Canes, and I'm a local guy. I'm a Hornets guy, diehard Panthers fan, ECU Pirate. I just can't get behind the Canes. I just can't do it. Reed, you?
No, I'm the same boat. Can't get behind him.
Colby, can you?
He's going.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like a hockey expert. Like I never watch hockey, but like I'll throw it on in the playoffs. I mean, it's cool if they win, but I'm not like dying but every goal like cheering for them.
Braxton, I hope the Canes win for you. For you. But all the other Canes fans that don't pay attention until 2 weeks ago, hope they lose for them.
How much money were the tickets? Probably pretty expensive.
Yeah, for real.
I got them for, I think, around like 110 from my friends. So I think they're more than that right now if you're looking. But
yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I went to one Canes game 2 years ago. They got beat by the Knights 4-0. Walked out of there real happy. Real happy.
D1 hater.
Yeah, I'm on hate watch season. It's bad, I know. As I think we're gonna wrap up the show. I think Tobin's laptop died. His laptop from 2004.
Typical.
That hasn't updated since 8th
I don't
grade.
think he's heard of like plugging it in before.
No, he didn't. No, he doesn't have a charger. The amount of times we're on the phone with Reed, and he goes, "My phone's dying. Plug it up. I don't want to get up to get the charger." So same situation here. Last comment of the night, Matt says this is disgusting. I don't know what he's talking about. But,
probably our Canes talk.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, Matt. All right, boys. Good night. It's been fun. Good night, people. We'll see you on Wednesday. Be on the lookout tomorrow for Curveball honorable mentions, as well as our power rankings, as well as Tuesday. Be sure to look at our Field of 64. Good night, folks.